to Sri Aurobindo Project Inclusion. Today we are talking about When Dyslexia Comes Home, a guide to parents to be a supportive pillar to their children. With us today is Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan. She's a social entrepreneur and has double doctorate in psychology and special education. She has been working in the field of learning disabilities and helping more than 6,000 children for 25 years. Recognized by the government of Pondicherry as an official counselor, she's here to tell us how parents and how the education system can help children with dyslexia live a happy and a fruitful life. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for the brief intro. Thank you so much. On behalf of Pondicherry Dyslexia Association and Bridges Learning Vidyalaya Pondicherry, my humble pranams and salutations to all the dyslexic children parents across the world. My sincere thanks to our Union Territories, renowned Aurobindo Society of Education, for giving me an opportunity to participate in their educational services to connect with parents and educators to support for the cause of dyslexia. We all are united to spread across awareness to get into the insights of learning disability around the world. It is a great honor to present our understanding of how learning differences can affect students and parents if left unnoticed, and the role of educators as well during the month of National Dyslexia Awareness Month. Thank you so much once again for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Like dyslexia means difficulty and lexia means language. And dyslexia is also referred to as learning disabilities or specific learning difficulty. And learning disability is a condition which interferes with the person's ability related to processing the information with regard to auditory reception, auditory vocal association, auditory visual association, and visuomotor association. What they write in the exams is in no way connected to what they are thinking and what they have understood. Yes, my child is able to derive meaning from verbally presented content. My child has the ability to relate concepts presented orally and express the same concepts vocally. My child has the ability to relate concepts presented visually and auditorily at the same time. Then where is the lag? Then why there is a difference? Why there is a lag seen between the actual potential and performance in the exams? My child lacks in the ability to relate concepts and express them motorically. That is, the problem is with idea generation, expressive skills in the mechanical aspects of writing. Yes, I'm able to understand what is photosynthesis, what is solar system, electric circuit, aquatic habitats. You give me an opportunity to demonstrate what is photosynthesis. Yeah, you take me to the garden. I will just explain to you what is photosynthesis. And solar system, yes, I know about all the planets. I know how the planets work and how the planets revolve around the earth. Electric circuit, yes, I know. I'm good at operating, meddling, even the remote control, or even the watches, or even the clock, and whatever is under repair, I can do it by myself. I know I have the skill, I have the ability, I can do it by myself. Aquatic habitats, yes, you tell me, you name me any fish, I will give you the aquatic habitat of that particular fish. Yes, I know everything. I have an aquarium at home. And the same boy, the dyslexic child, he also understands the horse ran fast, the monkey swung in the tree and ate banana. Yeah, he is able to vocalize, and he is able to visualize the horse ran fast, the monkey swung in the tree and he ate banana. Yeah, you ask me anything, I will be able to demonstrate and show you. But this guy, the dyslexic boy or a girl, has a problem with phonological processing disorder. When a child starts the activity of reading, he needs to decode. He needs to sound out words. See, only there, my child has a difficulty in meeting the ends of encoding and decoding. We'll just see a typical example, maybe a case study of a boy by name Mohan. This boy who's by name Mohan, very smart boy who's in fifth standard, is absolutely stunning when he gives about lectures about what all measures police and people should take up for paving way to ambulance. He talks on and on about philosophy of life, and he understands the Odyssey of Homer, and he finds ideas about how can you take out the drone which get caught in the tree, no, only by operating the remote. But alas, he is unable to understand bat, cat, rat, mat, but, mut, shut, put. You're saying but, mut, and again you're saying put is put. Oh, really, I'm not able to understand what you're talking about. I don't know how to segment, how to synthesize the words, how to analyze what is B, what is D, what is P, what is Q. All these letters are only looking like a stick attached to the circle. And his father is very much stunned. The Mohan, the boy whom we are talking about, this boy's father is very much stunned when he took him to his village where his family is revisiting after 4 years. He is able to remember the route, the road, how they went and everything. But whereas the entire family has forgotten, how did they manage to go? But the same boy is not able to remember the sequence in the max tables and lessons from social, which deals with life in villages and towns. That is how the child is labeled as dull, stupid, not trying, lazy. If he can, he will be able to do. When the same child is able to process everything other than academics, he appears very much puzzling for the parents. And the same boy, he takes up writing very well because he is more interested in writing. As soon as the teacher writes something in the board, he repeatedly reinforces, should I copy in the notebook? Yeah, the teacher writes, the little dog is jumping in the air. Yes, my child is able to write everything, repeatedly. No, he just wanted to reinforce repeatedly as a teacher, should I write, should I copy? And his max teacher tells his mom, he is not fit to do mathematics at all. He doesn't know to do maths. He is not able to understand the abstract and concepts of mathematics. And he gets so much disturbed, and he goes home and ransacks his house by throwing the remote and pulling the curtains, and he just brings the TV down, and so much of anger he develops, and he just makes so much of emojis which expresses more anger. And he says, what is this calculate, solve? I'm not able to understand. You're saying SOLVE, solve, calculate. I'm not able to understand. Please explain to me. What is C? What is K? I don't know. You're giving the same sound for both. I'm not able to understand. You're saying an, any. Oh, please, I'm not able to follow anything. So most of these children, they just lag behind because they're not able to attain their self-efficacy. Now, unless the self-efficacy is attained, only then the self-regulation takes place. And most of these children have problem with spelling and writing, that is encoding and decoding becomes a strenuous process as it combines the components of auditory and visual processing.
Ma'am, that's a really nice way of putting up how the entire scenario, and the case study of Mohan really helps us understand like how dyslexia manifests and how he can perform philosophy, he can understand the Homer, he can understand basic tasks, he can understand complex tasks as well. But when it comes to spellings and numbers, that's where, as you mentioned, encoding and the perception. Could you help us understand more on that?
Yeah. See, when we talk about the self-regulation, we need to give more focus on self-efficacy, which is very, very important. For any person, self-efficacy is very important. A dyslexic child will try to attain maximum perceived capabilities in order to prove about himself who he is to his family and to the school. Because parents and everyone keeps saying that he's not trying, he's dull and all that. No, any child will not take up his capability to such an extent to that level. The saddest part in many students with learning disability, they do not adequately self-regulate their academic performances as they keep receiving a bomb either from their parent or from the educators, demotivating their efforts in the mechanism of learning. So this is how my child gets frustrated, irritated, is not interested in learning. because every time he just sits to study, he just sits to read, and he's not able to read aloud. And everyone tells him to read aloud. He doesn't read aloud because he knows he's making mistakes. And the parent will say, you don't know to read this also. Then educator will also say, you don't know to read this. How many times I've told you? So this guy, this boy, he gets frustrated. Any dyslexic child gets frustrated and they get irritated and they lose interest in reading.
The encoding part and how reading loses interest in reading. But when it comes to when dyslexia comes home, when the parent finds out that the child has been labeled that they have dyslexia, how can the parents help in such scenario? And how can the parents be helped?
Yeah.
Sometimes they
See,
often. I'm sorry.
Yeah, parents' role is very, very important here. No, I can definitely accept the scenario in the child's family. When a child is not studying, definitely the entire family will be in real trauma. When a child is born, entire family rejoices, and the parents develop a lot of expectation, dreams, and beliefs. For few parents, their dreams paralyzes. When the child is maybe 1.5 year or 2 year, parent teaches orally the poem, they sing, and pictorial representation. My child will be able to observe and rejoices, and he also reciprocates very well. But parents make the child to recite orally. Whoever comes, that is our regular tradition and in Indian home setting. Like whoever comes, we just tell the child to recite. So the child recites. Our child is good in listening and observation, recitation, and because he just recites, he reciprocates whatever he has just stored from the memory. Processing takes place. And everyone, even the visitors, whoever comes home, they praise us and says, wow, very nice. And he gets motivated. He flies with wings, positivity at home. With so much of expectation, the child goes to school. The first day, parent dreams, LKG, UKG, oral recitation. As a boy is already practiced, he verbalizes, he articulates very nicely. Yeah, cursive writing, yes, my child is able to do very well because he's good in drawing, and he writes very well by seeing the pictures and cat, dog, and everything. He is able to identify everything. He is able to say by looking at the pictures. As long as you don't give him any dictation, any test in dictation. First standard, yes, the child manages. The child is not reading the text. Parent thinks LKG, UKG, the teacher was good. First standard teacher, my child doesn't like, and she's not treating my child properly. She doesn't recognize, and they don't realize that the child is at risk. Then second standard goes on. Our hero does copying from the board and diary work, doing homework, prefers writing than reading, 1 mark, then match questions and everything he does. And one word answers, yes, he manages with spelling mistakes, and he is getting pushed, goes to the third standard. And now at this stage, few parents realizes that the child's performance is not up to the mark. The child is getting more red flags and complaints and from the teacher. And now the parents, they just take the blame. They say, why me? Is this child born to me? What is a mistake I did? How can this child be like this? He's not studying. The same bundle of joy whoever the child gave to the parents, the same child becomes a burden, irritation, and they don't know what to do, how to go about it. So they blame themselves, and they also develop a fear, guilt, and tug of war, and there'll always be misunderstanding among parents and disharmony in the family, and they will have a denial, yeah, shock, avoidance. Yeah, is it for me? No, it cannot happen for me. My child does well. No, I am a rank holder, and I have done my BA, I've done my MA. My husband is also educated. No, my child cannot have any kind of learning disability. Then it develops into anger, and they show a lot of anxiety, frustration, irritation, and then they go to hopelessness. No, nothing can work out. Yes, I have to do something for the child. Then they move on to the depression, and then they accept, yes, this is the way I have to pave my way for my child. Then they start exploring options, new plans, and then they move on. And most of the parents, with my experience, with this 27 years of experience, I've seen almost mother, female, accepting there is some kind of problem with my child. My child is not like the other child in my neighborhood, or when they compare it to their own siblings, or when they compare it to their own relatives. Whereas the father, most of the fathers, they're not able to accept, yes, my child has a kind of difficulty, has a kind of learning disorder. Most of the parent where I've seen. And when a family, when both the parents are working, and the mother in one place, the father in another place, and the father keeps questioning the mother, I think you're not taking care of your son properly, because you're almost hooked up to your own routine, your office work, and your whatever work you're just assigned at home. I think you're not taking care of your son properly. That is why my child is not learning. And you don't understand my child. He will learn properly. He will learn. He will do everything fine. I think you are not cooperating with my son. These kind of arguments and these kind of disharmony happens between the parents when they are working in two different places.
We understand that, ma'am, but how does that help the child, like impact on the child? We understand that it's difficult.
How does parents?
The acceptance of the parents does take time. I understand that there's an environment, but how does that affect on the child who has dyslexia?
How does parent move about helping the child? Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So now, with broken homes and, television, and children are also hooked up to video games, then working mother, internet, mobile phones, and radiation exposure. Yeah, definitely. Like most of the children have a lag. They've developed a lag between their actual potential and their performance. And they should also keep, reinforcing, am I a decisive element in the classroom? Or is it my personal approach which creates the unpleasant climate? And how should I change about it? And am I expressing more mood swings, which creates the daily weather at home? So how should I go about it? And how should I change the scenario at home? And also, how will I help and support my child? I can be a tool of torture, or I can be an instrument of inspiration. So what am I going to be? How am I going to respond to my son's
That's really beautiful, ma'am.
learning difficulty?
The line you said.
Yeah.
That was really beautiful. Speaking about education,
Yeah.
Recently there has been a lot of talk about inclusive education. And as you had just said, that education plays a very crucial role. How can inclusive education in this scenario help the children with dyslexia and at the same time parents? Does it actually benefit their future, their present, and their expectations?
Yes. See, what is very important is, after accepting, we need to develop their executive functions, which is very important. For executive functions, we need to plan and prepare before remedial teaching. And you have to set teaching objectives. And this executive functions, main comprises visuospatial working memory. See, the sequential processing of the subject content, which is involved in remembering the position of the printed matter, results in perceptual disorder. So that is, executive function is what, like mental process that enable our child to plan, focus attention, and remember instructions. Yeah, working memory, yes, my child is very good because his neurons get strengthened via neurotransmitters and when neurochemicals gets released. Cognitive flexibility, that is what we need to focus. And my child is not able to read all the words and memorize all the words or memorize the paragraph answers, and the child has difficulty in this aspect. So we need to develop his cognitive flexibility. That is, we have to get our child adapt to the curriculum, whichever is easier for him, and just support him with reading and also make him to memorize, make him to write whatever he is comfortable with. And the main focus what parents have to do is, when a child comes to you for reading, when he just sits with you for reading, when you just call him for reading, when he just sits with you to complete his regular homework, and what parent have to do is, they have to first, just make him to, yeah, just give him a kind of love, a hug and a kiss, and just make him come sit next to you, and just teach him very slowly. No, make him give that accommodation to him. Yes, my child will definitely listen to me, and the child should also get the confidence. My mom has understood me properly. My mom helps me. My father helps me. So that is the kind of accommodation parents should give for any child, for any dyslexic child who is just struggling to learn. And soon as the child just comes and sit next to you for writing, suppose he has written the word little yesterday, and probably mom would have taught the word little, Little. The child would have made proper spelling previous day, and now when he writes today, he must have missed the middle portion of the word. Probably you would have written the initial and the end portion. You would have missed out the middle portion. You would have forgotten. You would have missed out. And the parent, will blame him, saying that yesterday only I taught you. You don't know this also. And when they ask that question, so the child gets, he just shrinks. He just gets to his nutshell. And then the next day onwards, what he does, he doesn't ask his mom for help, for any support, or any kind of homework or whatever he has. So when the same scene, see, when the boy is in second standard, third standard and all, he knows, he just very well understands and very well adjusts with his parents. But when the same boy comes to fifth standard, sixth standard, when he knows that somebody is always troubling him, somebody is always just questioning him, and what he does, he just gets off from the place, and he doesn't do or sit with his parents to complete his own work. So what the parents have to do, parents accommodation, parents should definitely accommodate the child, the budding child, and they should also understand what is the strength and limitations. Never question on the limitations. Just develop the strength. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining for the
Yeah,
parents part. But as we know, in a child's life, schools and the parents are the major influence. How does education empower children with dyslexia and also help parents? Could you help us understand on that?
Yes. Yeah, here the first and foremost role of a teacher's role is very, very important in order to understand the ability of the diverse learners in the classroom. Teacher's role is very crucial, serving as a mentor and bringing a change in implementing inclusive classroom. For example, in a class of 40, 6 to 8 children needs helping hand to support the students and deal with the parents. As teachers, please step into the class with a multisensory approach while applying instructional strategies. You frame 3 groups in the classroom. Write the names of the students in each group based on their ability levels: mild, moderate, and severe. The slow one, whom we call a slow learner, dyslexia, not attentive, make them as a rabbit group. The medium type of children, average group of children, where maybe if we just give them a little kind of stimuli and a kind of repetition practice, they may improve and they may come back to the higher level. So make them as cheetah group, and you give peacock. Peacock is one who is really advanced, one who is learning very fast, who is very good in learning. Make it like that. 1, 2, 3. You make a group, And we can also know the second category children whom we are talking about medium, because dyslexia is always classified into three categories, that is mild, moderate, and severe. And if the medium level, that is mild level children who are struggling to read, if they are left unnoticed, they will definitely be pushed into the severe group. So the severe group level we have to focus on, and the mild and medium, just with little attention given to them every day, definitely they will become a successful learner. And we can always have a PSG, that is PSG is peer support group in a classroom. Pair 1 and 2 and also 1 and 3. This team reading works very well. Never embarrass a child who's struggling to learn. Make them to get up in the classroom and make them to read and all that. So what happens? The child who's having difficulty in reading, he will be a mockery of the classroom, and the other children will humiliate, will make a mockery. So instead, what we can do, we can just pair this 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 team, so that pair the reading will help, and the children will also get kind of accommodation in the classroom. So plan a teaching objectives based on core and non-core teaching objectives, which is very important. You have to make a lesson plan based on core and non-core teaching objectives. We can just have when a teacher enters the classroom, the teacher should be really highly energetic and very enthusiastic. We can just make, what, who has come to the class? Boo boo shakalaka. Hi dear children, see who has come to your class. Yes, Dr. Abdul Kalam has come to teach you. The teacher can wear a mask of Abdul Kalam and just go enter to the class, and all the children will just shout, yeah ma'am, yes ma'am, we are ready. Yeah, Dr. Abdul Kalam, yeah, welcome. He wants your precious time for another 20 minutes. Who has come to the class? Dr. Abdul Kalam. Can you all lend your time for Kalam? I know, I can understand you all. It is difficult to sit for 6 hours in the classroom and learn different subjects. As a teacher, I'm reading only one subject. So we can also give them, the teacher can give a kind of question answers. Maybe suppose if you just take an English, where does the speaker want to be? We can just have a question. Where does the speaker want to be? The speaker wants to go to outer space and visit the stars and planets. That's all. This is the answer, which is very simple. So the child who's not able to read, the child who's able to read very well. So what is the inclusive classroom? We can make all the children to read and learn, provided the right atmosphere and the right way of approach and right instructional strategies is given to the children. Now we take the word speaker. My child has difficulties in learning. Speaker, speaker. We can just split the word and write in the board, and we can use a kind of all phonics strategies we can just use. And my child can write speaker, then outer, 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 space, space. My child will have confusion. You're saying ACT is act, and now you're saying ACE is ace. Yeah, yes, ACE is ace. That is a rule which we are going to speak in English. We want you to learn that rule also in English. So space, space. And then you have another keyword like stars, stars, st. It's a blended word. ST, st. R, it's a R controlled word, and you're just adding S to R, stars. Then planet, pl, again it becomes a blended word. Pl, an, et, pl, a, net. You can even split like this. Pl, a, net. My child knows net. NET is net. PL is pl. Then a, planet, pl, a, net, pl, a, net, pl, a, net. You can just run through the word. We can also we can bring a car to the classroom, a small car. We can just write this in the flashcard. We can just run through the word planet, 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 stars, 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 planets, stars, planet, planet. run through the word like this, repetition, 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 with so much of energy. Definitely a child will be able to take away the key words who are also left unnoticed, whom we call as slow learners, dyslexic children. And while you're teaching a kind of poem or passage, whatever you're just teaching, you have to give your full energy. Sweet Emmy Potato. Yeah, you all like potato, no? Shall we read a poem from Potato? Potato, potato. Wow. Is there anyone else in this world who doesn't love you at all? You're fantastic, whichever way you're prepared, either as chips, fries, or gravy, aloo paratha. The list are endless, so yummy and fills my tummy. I swear by the menu, everyone will like you. Now you can use the kind of actions, all this kind of articulation, modulation. All this must come to the class. We have to bring all these kind of support in the classroom because we are going to address the diversified learners. So the teacher has to be prepared with all these kinds of kinesthetic approach and also tactile approach, then visual approach, auditory approach. So all these things to be together for a teacher. Suppose you are just teaching a spelling. Okay, I'm just taking the word mesmerizing. No, mesmerizing. Yeah, you all feeling hungry, children? Shall we go to the mess? You know what is a mess? Mess is, it is the other word of mess is hotel. Shall we go to the hotel? Shall we have something? Yeah, what is the other word for mess? Yeah, hotel, restaurant. You all like to go, no? Yeah, mess. You know who's running the mess? Mary. The owner of the mess is Mary. You know what she likes to do? She likes to sing very much. Yeah, Miss Mary sing. Who's the owner of the hotel? Mary. Mary, what she likes to do? The children will say, sing, sing, sing. Yeah. So where are we going now? Miss Mary sing. Mesmerizing. 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 Yeah, shall we all go and have potato there? You know what that Mary is singing? Potato, potato. Wow, is there anyone else in this world who doesn't love you at all? You're fantastic, whichever way you're prepared, either as chips, fries, or gravy, aloo paratha. The list are endless, so yummy, and fills my tummy. I swear by the menu, everyone will like you. The teacher should be really energetic and make all kind of nuances approach in order to make the child to learn. And paired reading will definitely help. As we're just discussing, there's AMP questions. See, we saw this simple question and answer, isn't it? The speaker wants to go to the outer space and visit the stars and planets. I'm taking here only three set of words: outer space, stars, and planets. These three keywords are very much essential for this question. This answer has got three keywords. We'll take these three keywords so that my child who's really struggling will also be able to write. So every day we can take up at least minimum 6 words every day, so that by the end of the week, what happens? Each and every child in the class will be able to answer minimum 5 questions from the question paper. Isn't it sounding very simple? So don't embarrass the child who cannot learn. Paired reading will help, and AMP questions will help. AMP is active mental participation. Make the child to participate every day. You have a box and put a question every day, so that you make a pair. That pair the reading, whoever you have just paired 1 and 3 and 2 and 3, you just plan a pair the readers so that they can help each other and make them to understand the answer. So practicing 6 keywords in your timetable schedule of 40 minutes will definitely bring wonders for each and every child. Practice 6 keywords every day. Definitely, every child will be able to learn at least 5 questions from the question paper very, very easily. Without any difficulties, each and every child will be able to answer. Keep giving the assurance that I am here to help you. As parent, you commit mistakes while reading. Let your child correct you. When he corrects you, he gets a feel that my parents also commit mistakes like me. I am not alone. Repetition, 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 repeat, repeat, repeat every day. Repetition will do wonders.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful information about how parents and teachers can help.
God has selectively handpicked and chosen you all as parents for special needs children. You all are blessed souls with God's gift to reform your lovely children into a God's loving, marvelous statue. What you are is God's gift to you. And what you make of your children is your gift to God. In this creation, there are no repetitions. Children are responsibilities entrusted on humans by God. Good parenting is living up to God's trust. Let us live up to his trust. Happy parenting. Thanks for the opportunity given once again for Arabindo Society for their inclusive education project. Thank you all. My pranams and salutations to one and all who are watching this video. Thank you all so much from Pondicherry Dyslexia Association. I'm Dr. Bhuvana Vasudevan. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.